How's it going, folks? My name is Matthew, aka EZBOT, and today we're going to take a look at the ASM Leviasynth paired with Elektron's Tonverk. Now, I've had the Leviasynth in my studio for a while, and I pop new firmwares in it, test it out, play with it for a little bit, and then I kind of go back to what I usually do, which is playing on Elektron stuff and my MA tracker, and I kind of like do that over and over again, and because that's what I'm really comfortable with. Recently, I took a deeper dive into my Leviasynth to kind of just get more familiar with it, and I found myself enamored with the device. I can't say that I'm like an expert by any means, but I know how to use it well enough to get a patch started and to kind of treat it as a subtractive synth at the very least, and just enjoy the synthesizer altogether. It is incredibly deep, this synth. Kind of like a Tonverk, which is what we're pairing it with today, also incredibly deep. And I thought it would be really cool, because I really enjoy making this kind of like breathy, dubby, techno stuff on my Elektron gear, you know, to capture some sounds from my Leviasynth and process it through my Tonverk. Maybe live processing it through the effects, or sampling it and doing it afterwards, maybe running some of the Leviasynth's presets that it comes with into Grainer or something like that. I was like, there's all sorts of cool options that I have access to pairing it with the Tonverk specifically, because it is just incredibly powerful. I look forward to when they finally release the next update for the Tonverk, because I believe it will bring us a lot of great things that we're looking forward to as users. And but right now we're just using Tonverk the way it is that you would. But let me talk to you about Leviasynth and kind of like just my personal experience with the device, what I find fascinating about it, all the way from the build quality to the sound quality and the workflow. So let's take a look at Leviasynth. This is it right here. As you can see, this thing looks like it's from outer space. It has the same colors as the Tonverk, which is kind of cool. They both have that like light cyan color. Which I didn't really notice until I was about to start streaming today. And I'm very pleased to see we got black and green all over the place. This is a pretty crazy sounding synth. I'll just like jump through some of the presets for you. Maybe I'll go into chord mode over here. I do have this plugged in via MIDI. We are using my lovely Luma MIDI cables that light up when you plug them in, which is dope. So we know it's working because it's lit up. And I can go over to chord mode, turn that on, and now I've got some chords jumping over to Leviasynth. I heard like, when I did that, I heard like, like the Mario Brothers theme started playing in my head. I don't know why. But it's really nice how quickly I was able to just get this up and running. This is a bitimbral synthesizer, which means it pairs really well, in my opinion, with groove boxes. So I could essentially have something like maybe a Digitact would be a really good companion for the Leviasynth. When it comes to like multi-timbral, because what a multi-timbral instrument allows you to do is send one MIDI channel over to the device and like customize one patch, and then send another MIDI channel over to the device and customize another patch, or run another patch is what I mean to say. Each MIDI channel controlling another synth preset. So basically it's just multiple versions of the synth running at the same time. That's super sick, and you can do stuff like that on tons of synthesizers, but not all of them allow you to control them from external devices. So this one's very easy to set that up. You can just hit the MIDI button and go in and assign the lower and middle, or lower and upper portions of the synthesizer, which is two different patches. And you can just assign the MIDI channels to it and then control it via an external box. Then you can sequence it and basically have two super powerful synthesizer patches with all these knobs per function to control, while you're programming over here with the amazing Elektron sequencer and amazing sounds of another device, today's Leviasynth. And I think that's really cool. So multi-timbral checks the box for me big time. I'm like mostly only interested in synthesizers at this stage that offer some like really unique stuff that works well with my Elektron stuff, and or M8 and or my Eurorack. And this one definitely does that. So just talking about like what's on this thing, how big is it? It's pretty big. So you can see the Tonverk, like, I mean, it's not monstrous like a big keyboard synth, but it's pretty big for a desktop synth. It is basically feels like solid steel. This thing could definitely be used as a weapon if you wanted. It is incredibly robust feeling, and I mean, even the encoders just feel like they're not gonna move. Like they're just on so well. So I gotta say, when it comes to build quality, I'm a sucker for stuff that's built really well and looks nice. Leviasynth definitely checks those boxes. This thing is built like a tank. It's absolutely insane. It has all these crazy workflows and quality of life type stuff that I haven't mastered yet. So there's weird things that you can do to make you move very quickly on this device. And I've like written some down just so that I could use them during this stream today to kind of like put them into my muscle memory as I'm playing with the synthesizer. But it's crazy. Like for instance, just to show you really quick, like if I go to one of these envelopes, say I want to adjust the length of the attack, but I want to do it based on what I'm like feeling, I can hold the shift button and long press attack. And for as long as I hold it, it will put that value in. So if I do it to like the release stage, it'll program 1.66 seconds into the release stage because that's how long I held it for. I don't know why I didn't do it for the attack when I did that. Maybe the screen didn't register. But yeah, as you can see, I added 1.66 seconds by holding it down for 1.6 seconds. I don't know any other synthesizers that does stuff like that. Like, I just learned this the other day. And there's so many of these types of things in this synthesizer that does that. I know I'm talking a lot, I'm moving quick, I've drank a lot of coffee. I want to show you some sounds just so that people are tuning in and are like, okay, cool, there's some sounds happening. So let me show you some presets and then we'll kind of make like a basic subtractive synth from scratch really quick so you can just hear what it would be like if you were brand new to this synth and you just wanted to make something simple and usable and good. Let's just do that and we'll kind of talk about what the synth offers. So here's one of the patches. I'm just kind of just randomly grabbed one. It's called Flute Essence. It's a multi-patch, which means it has a lower and upper, and I can use this balance knob to isolate one or the other, which you can use as a performance thing. It also has these crazy macros, so this probably has a bunch of macros already assigned to it. And you can just go, like right here, the macros are already assigned, so I can just play with these knobs. They're not like simple parameters. They could have multiple parameters assigned to them. So let's do it again, like just even with this patch. Bring in some air. Ensemble. Maybe it's a chorus. Pitch envelope. Turn up the glider. It's got really good sounding effects in it too. Let's go to another patch. I like that. Oh, beef. You can see what beef does. It makes it pretty beefy. Oh, looks like the reverb and delay are not turned on. But it sounds awesome. It has an analog filter. So what this synth does really well. Let's go to Dorian because that's a nice sounding. The heck? Dorian 2, what are you? Cool. It has some great sounding effects on it. The reverb and delay are pretty incredible. It has distortion. And it's okay, so what I was gonna say is one of my favorite things about like modern synthesizers is that people are really leaning into this digital oscillator thing and then adding an analog filter in the mix. And that's what the Leviasynth has as well. So it has 8 oscillators per voice and 16 voices, and then it has 2 filters per voice. So each filter or each voice has an analog filter and a digital filter. And the analog filter is a 24 dB low pass filter. So it's not a multi-mode, but it has a multi-mode digital filter. And it sounds good. We're gonna go to like a more like classic sawtooth patch and really show off the filter in a second before we're playing with this. But this is I believe a poly aftertouch like pads, and you can change the scale to the pads. You can set like velocity amounts, I believe. But you can change the scale on them and set it into chord mode and all sorts of stuff. So like, and it has a really robust sequencer, which we're not going to play with at all today because I haven't gotten too familiar with the sequencer. And also, why would I honestly, like, I'm not a fan of built-in sequencers on synthesizers. Like, it's always an afterthought for synths, and it's not really like where the energy for a developer goes anyway. They did put a really powerful sequencer into Leviasynth. They have multiple sequencer types even. But I'm like, this is the one that I'm really good at. So that's the one I'm going to use. And that makes sense from any producer or musician standpoint. Like, I'm not just going to futz around with something I may use once or twice when I know this one really well. So here's that analog filter. It's a second one, I believe. Whoa. Like, this thing is crazy sounding. Oh, here's a good dub techno patch. This has like a, I believe it has a pitch reverb. If I go to my reverb section, we can change it. We have a cloud, plate, hall, room. I think cloud has, maybe I'm wrong about that. I actually don't know. Oh, it's just a filter. The cloud reverb sounds good. It's big. So we're not using any of Tonverk's effects at the moment. We're just playing with the synthesizer. Just showing you a couple patches and honestly kind of like looking for a patch to... It has one of those great arpeggiators too, where you can edit the arpeggiator. If you hold shift and go to edit, you can go in here and start like making the arpeggiator do weird stuff. Change the length of it. All these different modes and divisions. I don't know if you can parameter lock it, phrase or bit. I don't even know. Like, it's just so deep, honestly. Might be too deep. Hey, turn off. Get out of here. Well, that's a deep house pulse. As you can hear, lots of... I mean, it's okay, so we haven't even talked about, like, what is the synthesis type in here? I mean, it's essentially an FM synth, but it's more than that. So it's like an FM synth that doesn't just offer, like, feedback in the way of, like, operator modulator type thing. It's also, like, phase distortion, phase modulation, linear FM, but also you can just treat it as a classic subtractive synthesizer. But what's really crazy about it is when you go into this algorithm editor, you have like, look at how many algorithms you have to select from. That's just not how typical FM synths work. And then you can fade between them if you go to mode morph. Look at this, there's like this subtle, you can see that kind of like getting darker and lighter. Like it's fading between algorithms. Like what? And so you can choose 8 algorithms and then fade between them as like, this is one of your parameters you can modulate. I mean, it's just insane. But not only that, you can build your own custom algorithms. So like it's honestly an infinite synth. And it's honestly also why it is the deepest synthesizer I currently have in my studio. Um, I wouldn't say that I collect like crazy deep synthesizers, but I mean, I have a Peak, I have a Delia, which is a pretty deep synth, and I have Digitone, of course, and then I have a couple more analog synths, so I don't have like a ton, but I have a lot of modular, and modular is extremely deep. You can make it as deep as you want. This synth goes like, this might as well be a modular synth in terms of like how deep and crazy it gets. You can get really fast at it, for sure. The thing is, for me, kind of a hot take, not a hot take on Leviasynth, but just on synthesizers in general, for me as a person who likes playing with synthesizers, I like kind of simple sounds. So like my go-to is like square wave, sawtooth, detune, like long attack, long release, like give me these big pads and stuff like that. So like the really digital sounding stuff, it's not something I gravitate towards. And I mean by like digital as in like the really metallic-y, FM-y type stuff. I like the sound of like classic kind of generic synthesizers. Like that's, not only is that like my bread and butter for like making songs, but that's also the stuff I like to listen to. Like plucky analog type sounding stuff. That's what I like. This does that and then some. So like for people who want to have best of both worlds, Leviasynth kind of has you covered. And that again goes to my point with like the digital oscillators into the analog filter discussion, and how I think that is just an incredible thing to do. Like I think that's the move for synthesizer companies. Another synth that I would love to try, but it's just like, it's out of my price range, to be completely honest with you, is the Domino. And then it's another like digital synth with, I believe, with analog filters. That one's FPGA. This is, using FM, so I don't think this is FPGA. I honestly don't know how they're doing it. It seems like they have like a really powerful computer. One thing I do like about this is that when you boot it up, it says, "Welcome, EZBOT," because I registered the name to me, and it greets me. And my other synthesizers don't greet me by my YouTube handle. So that's a big win for the Leviasynth. It also has CV and gate, which is great, for people who want to merge it with their synthesizers or with their modular synths. Not for me. I'm not going to do that because it's just not my thing. I'd rather just play with my modular synths on their own, but really cool that you can do that. I'm sure the sequencer and this can work together. You could use this as a sequencer for your modular. Like for those who don't have a lot of modular and don't have a lot of sequencers, and you have a Leviasynth, that might be a really dope thing for you. So let me show you some cool stuff on here, and then we're gonna like do some sampling out of the Tonverk, because I'm talking a lot about this thing, and there's so much to say about it that I feel like that could take up like 2 hours, and we're not gonna do that. So if I want to init something, if I want to init a patch, what I love seeing on all synths, and everybody should do this, all synthesizer manufacturers, put an init button on your synth. This is so nice. Put a random button on your synth. This is so nice. What's cool about both init and random on this synthesizer in general is that init and random applies to anything you want it to. Like if I want to init the envelope generator, like if we make some like weird values in here, which I'm not doing, but if we make some weird values in here, I can init envelope 3. Initialize envelope 3, yes. Cool. Initialize particular parameters, dope. If I want to randomize envelope 3, hold random, hit envelope 3, yes. Random envelope. I want to randomize my algorithm, hold random and hit algorithm. I get a random set of algorithms. Great place for starting a new patch. Inspiration, very easy to find when you have operations like this available to you, especially right on the front panel. I'm not doing a menu dive looking for these things. It's also really nice to be able to init a value when I'm lost. Like say I don't know what I'm doing, right? And I don't. But say I don't know what I'm doing on a lot of things, and I'm just like, take me back. Just bring me back. Like I'm panicking almost because you get so frustrated at your synths sometimes where you're like, I don't know what I did. Like, let me fix it. Init, hit the window. It's back. It's kind of like reload parts on your Octatrack, or function yes, function no on a Digitag or Digitone. And you're like, just take me back where I was. you know? Also, function yes, function no, your detector's tone could be totally diabolical and destroy your music, so be really careful with that. Don't listen to me entirely, but yeah, you can randomize each parameter for a specific percentage? What? That's crazy. Flux with it? What's going on? Nice to see Leviasynth in action. I mean, I haven't even done anything on it quite yet. We're just really just being chatty about it because I haven't talked about the synth yet, but you know, it's dope. It's a dope synth. So I'm going to do a new patch. So we'll just init a patch. I'm going to go really simple because I don't know this thing like a pro. Hey, here we go. I just know it well enough to have a little bit of fun. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I need a synth to be able to do for me right now. I need to be able to have fun with it. It needs to be not too hard for me to learn. And this isn't hard. I watched a tutorial. Maybe it was Flux with its tutorial. Probably. If that's Ken Flux. Is it Ken Flux? But I think I've watched some of your stuff and chatted with you. Yeah, it looks like you. Yeah. What's up? Oh, it's Ken. All right, cool. Well, then any questions I have, fortunately, Ken Flux is here, who works on Leviasynth. Thanks for popping in. I will need all the help I can get, to be honest. But I know how to init a patch. And we are at the most basic use of the Leviasynth. We got some sine waves. It's a FM synth by default. And I can go to single or multi. I'm going to use single so that we're not doing the multi-layer patch, which also makes it so you can edit your macros. When you're in multi-mode, it kind of like, I believe, like locks you out from editing macros, I think. Am I right about that? Yeah, I think I am right about that. So if I'm in single mode and I go to macro assign, I can actually edit the macros. And I want to be able to edit macros. I think that's important. And that was something that stumped me when I was getting familiar with this device. I was like, getting so frustrated, I'm not gonna lie, you know, Ken, whatever. I was getting so frustrated with the bitimbral aspect of the device and I wanted to edit macros and I was like, why can't I edit a macro? But I realized I'm in multi-mode and, you know, those macros have to be assigned to the patch and the patch gets assigned to the multi and it actually makes sense, but it wasn't clear to me as I was getting familiar with it. So I'm gonna be in single mode here and let's just talk a little bit about oscillator group edit and then Ken can, of course, correct me as I make mistakes. So we have our 8 oscillators and you can edit them in a group mode if you want by like going to level. This is gonna be all 8 oscillators here. I love this. Is honestly one of my favorite parts about the synth so far is this amazing, this comes from Hydrasynth, right? If you're a Hydrasynth user, you're very familiar with this workflow that ASM kind of pioneered. The idea that you can like hold this down and touch this and they'll connect in the macro. Like I can just attach things by holding this and touching this. And the sequential Prophet Rev 2 has a similar workflow with its LFOs, which I loved about holding LFO, turn a knob, and it connect those values. This works in that same fashion, very smart. Kind of an Elektron thing too, I think. It has the windows, but this is different and equally as cool. So you can edit individual oscillators by clicking on the oscillator, going in here, and then this is your basic, I'm in a synthesizer, right? If I want to change the waveform, let's just change it to like a saw. And I got a sawtooth. And if I want to use my filter, analog filter, digital multi-mode filter, which is currently was doing a high pass filter. Now it is doing either both. Really cool. I mean, the digital filter sounds like it's hard to even tell which one's the analog filter because it sounds pretty good. So that's your analog filter. Like, but say I want to do like a really simple patch and I just want to have like 2 sawtooth waves and detune 1. This is really easy to do. I can just go back to, or go to my next oscillator, turn up its level. So this is your volume for it essentially. And I could grab another sawtooth and bring it down like an octave. And then I could just detune it a bit. And you can even add feedback, like you can feed back into itself. Just making it go a little crazy. Negative feedback, which I barely understand. Just a good sounding synthesizer. Like, it just sounds good. I got my classic fat sawtooth sound. Could throw a bunch of delay on it if I want. I like this stereo. No, I like the stereo pan. The pan delay is really nice. Big ups to the developer of that one. Pretty cool. I mean, this is honestly the most basic thing I could do ever, right? But if I want to give it some like attack, I want to make this like this, you know, the classic like suction sound. I can go over to my envelopes, and it's easy to understand, which is nice. This part is. The synthesis part is not. This is very deep and very difficult, I'd say. It's like, this is one of those synthesizers that is not like, I mean, it's beginner friendly in here because it kind of shows you what's going on. So it does have like this aspect of like, knob per function, beginner friendly for the most part. Init patch takes you right there. Typically you have to go to your manual, look for how to do an init patch. It's a key combination. This stuff all just gets you right to that spot. But this has the deepest synthesis I've ever seen with this morphing algorithm stuff. And that goes, and I know synths pretty well, and that definitely goes over my head where I'm just like, I'm getting a little lost. But I think that's great because that means that there's massive headroom for this to be in your studio and for you not to get bored like pretty much ever. I'm gonna turn that delay down a little bit. It's a bit much. Let's check out the reverb really quick. Back to this one. Where did like some sort of haunted mansion? Oh no, what's gonna happen? So you can see this is sending like a velocity value that is ridiculous. Nothing you can do. Fortunately, these pads aren't. So I'll probably play with these pads more, but I'll be programming some stuff here. But here, so let's do some adjustments. So envelope 1 controls digital filter 1. LFO 1 automatically attached to digital filter 1, so on and so forth. It's kind of obvious what's going on. I know that's kind of hard to see from your top-down perspective, but there's a bunch of envelopes across here, and they are pre-patched to these ideas here, which is a digital filter, analog filter, VCA, pre-effects, a delay. And then the reverb and post effects don't have envelopes automatically attached to them, or LFOs. But if I want to go to my VCA and give it some like attack, give it some release. Let's go to my analog filter, do the same thing. Let's change this up a little bit. Let's just do like... something simple. If I want to do a vibrato patch, like get some vibrato patched in, I can go to either fine tune or pitch, I believe. And if I want to patch it up, I can go, let's use, and we could go into the mod matrix, and I guess I could assign this to the pitch. Does it like work like that? Can I do that? No? I gotta turn this. Oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. Okay, let's not do it that way. Let's do it like this, where I go, let's use LFO 4 and go to the fine tune. I love that. Like, that's so sick. Let's check out, oh, whoops, back to fine tune. that's better. Yes. Oops, I didn't mean to. I'm still in this menu. Let's leave. Something cool too, and this happens, this will always happen with your synthesizers, and I'm glad I knew about this right there, is there's a panic. So shift home is your panic. So like when you're doing stuff like sending Tonverk, which is, you know, needing its next update, I'm sending values out stuff. I've actually gotten a lot of, needed to do a panic button on a lot of different synths when I'm patching with the Tonverk. I love my Tonverk. Say you get a stuck MIDI note, arpeggios and stuff like that on synthesizers often are the culprit. Like turning on an arpeggio as you're already playing a chord, stuff like that often is the thing that like gives you a stuck note, and depending on like what you're sending it from. If it's just a standard like typical keyboard that's just sending MIDI data, like that's usually not going to cause you any sort of MIDI stuck notes or anything like that. Groove boxes are often the culprit of this stuff. There's tons of MIDI messages happening inside a groove box. Sometimes they escape through the MIDI filter, go in and interrupt stuff. Cool. There's a panic right here. Shift home, kind of like function part on your Octatrack. If you're an Octatrack user, you get this. Anytime something happens and you're like, oh no, how do I fix this? Shift home and you'll fix any sort of MIDI panic. Cool. So like right now we're just doing a dual sawtooth wave patch, and we're just using this like the simplest algorithm that they have, but we can go into algorithm 2. It's obviously much different sounding because now oscillator 2 is being used as a modulator instead of just one of the mini oscillators. So we were kind of doing, if you're also a Dirty Wave M8 user, there's a couple of algorithms in the FM synth engine on the M8 that kind of treat the M8 the same way or a similar way as what we were using algorithm 1 for. It's just like basically all the oscillators just going out into the engine, and you can do whatever you want with each oscillator. That's what we were kind of doing before. Now we're doing an FM oscillator. We're doing frequency modulation from oscillator 2. So this oscillator is now modulating oscillator 1. So if I mess with this one, we should get some stuff. If I mess with its pitch of oscillator 2. Probably more fun to mess with the pitch via the fine tune. And that's pretty cool, right? I mean, honestly, that's kind of obvious. Like, not obvious to a new synth person, but I feel like that was obvious to me. Like, as in, as I'm playing with this, I go into my algorithm edit and I choose the next algorithm. This is probably the simplest way I've had it explained to me that oscillator 1 is modulating oscillator 2. Usually it's like some sort of graphic with this like difficult looking thing with a bunch of colors and blocks and lines connecting the blocks. Or if you're like looking at like FM8, it's just a grid of numbers and values with like a diagram, and it sucks. Like the experience sucks. You're just like, what am I really doing? I'm just turning up numbers, but this one's touching this one. It's hard to keep track of what you're doing. This is actually a nice layout for this. And there's so much more you can do here than what I've done. Let's actually go to another one. Oh, now it's oscillator 3 modulating oscillator 1 and 2, which means my weird oscillator 2 fine tune was going to sound crazy now. Well, it's just fine-tuned, so I guess it doesn't sound too crazy. We can go to oscillator 3, though, and... I guess I don't even need to turn up the init. I should just be able to play with its pitch, right? Or do I need to turn its actual value up? Yeah, I do. Look at all these waveforms. The envelope level comes from where? Which envelope is it using? That I don't know. I really like the morph mode. That sounds out of this world. Honestly, when it goes into like the FM territory, this thing really starts to shine with what it can sound like. That sounds pretty cool. And our second algorithm is so simple. It's like making a chord. Change oscillator 3's mode. I guess phase mod and frequency mod are kind of giving the same results. Pulse width modulation is different though. I don't know what HT sync is. Or PD square. Phase distortion square? Maybe that's what it means. Phase distortion saw. Saw and pulse, okay. This stuff is like where I'm like, wow, this is insane. Insanely deep stuff, so pretty cool, but man. I guess you can mess with the mode right here. Cool. Fun synth. I feel like this experience on this, like on this device as a desktop unit, is as fun as playing with like a larger synth one, a larger like keyboard synth, because it is very modular. Like being able to just patch by holding things down, touching this, hold this down, touch this, and it patches them together. I wonder if I hold like release, or if I go to an envelope, this probably won't work, but would I be able to attach this release to this? No. Okay. Or would I be able to attach this release to that? No. Okay. But if I hold macro and touch something, what does that do? Ah! That does work. Okay. Very cool. So I can set it to macro 1. And it goes to envelope 1, but I don't really want it to go to envelope 1. I want it to go to the filter cutoff. It doesn't seem to be an option for me right now. So if I wanted it to be, do I need to go into filter and then go macro cutoff, or do I go macro that? I'm not sure. The algorithm aspect is so drastically different and new, but explaining it is not easy because it's new. That makes sense. Yeah. It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. It's pretty cool though. I mean, I like new. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool to see a synthesizer company like doing something new, finding something new. I mean, the search for finding something new in a synthesizer in general, that's got to be a struggle in 2026. We've had synthesizers for a while, and they kind of like tons of them come out every year. Like, let's do the same idea, but let's take one idea from this synth and put it over here, and then that's a new synth. But really, it's just kind of rehashing the same stuff. This is new. Being able to crossfade between algorithms and be able to customize the algorithms with all these different wave shapes, and then adding a digital and analog filter into that workflow. I mean, it's a new synth, and it's kind of like its own new synthesis. Okay, I want to play with my Tonverk now, so I'm gonna leave this learning synthesizer aspect. We're gonna go use some presets and find a good preset, and then I can tweak the preset to my liking, which is my go-to bread and butter for everything, honestly. Like, I like to make a lot of synths from scratch in the Elektron realm because I'm so damn fast at that from just doing it for over and over forever. But like, I still use presets even on a Digitone or Analog 4. Like, I still jump to a preset when I'm looking for something to inspire me. And this has got no shortage of dope presets. So I'm gonna load some up. So you can either use the browse button or you can just turn the knob. There was this really good... This one sounds really thick. It's pretty nice. That's something that could get a track started. Just want to turn this chord mode off now and just... I want to run this through this and process it through the effects. So I'm going to go into my routing. And actually I'm going to go here. And instead of having it go out the mains, I'm going to have it go to a bus or track. But I think I'll have it go to, we'll use bus 3. Because my go-to is to use bus 4 as a sidechain bus. And I probably am going to do some sidechain. So now this is going through bus 3. I can put a Tonverk device. Back to, I think, this one. It seems like a good sound for us to start off, like, to get dubby. I need to go to that bus and get that. All right, let's sample this. We're going to target the external input. No, I'm going to target bus 3 because I want those effects. And we could do threshold. That actually works. Let's find a good threshold. Cool. All right, I just wanted to get a couple different, like two versions of the chord, you know, an inversion and then first position, which I did. And then it has those effects from the Tonverk on it because I want to apply effects to the chord. That's why I did the, just did a C minor chord, which is something I can transpose easily into any other key and it'll work because I did it on as a C. Okay, so let's save it. It's a really simple patch. That's kind of why I picked it. We'll call it Levi Psi C minor chords C H D S. Psi, Levi Psi. Has anybody read I'm sure plenty of you, if there's more than Ken Flux watching this, have read Dark Tower, or the Dark Tower series. Every time I say the word Psy, I think of Psy Roland. I also think of the voice actors from the audiobook, because that's how I read that particular series. All right, I put that on track 6. Sounds good to me. Let's just see what's up with these reverbs and delays. Let's set these up the way we like them. I forgot they actually did a pretty good job of having them set up in a pretty good fashion by default, at least when it comes to the reverb. Not perfect, but getting there. Okay. Track 6. Sheesh. Hey. Dog's tripping balls. I'm sure that hurt your ears. Come here, Jem. Oh, that sounds super good now. Forgive my dog. Oh, that sounds really good. Yeah, we'll use that. Cool. Okay, to copy this, I actually want these to be for track scaling, and I want it to be 8 bars long, because that's how I like to work. And we'll do this as 8 bars as well. I can hear everybody going crazy in my house. I hear my son crying, my dog is barking. Just the Tonverk and the Leviasynth are making nice sounds. Cool, so I'm gonna use a couple of different positions from the sample that I did. So my first sample is just the very first patch. We did a couple different octaves, which have a different, it's gonna have a different effect on here. Because the way it will play back if I repitch it. So let's go, what page are we on? We're on page 2. Let's go to page 4. Oh, let's go to page 3. Put this again, but let's move it to a different spot. Sorry, but why are you playing back? There we go. Oh, I see. I'm gonna unlock this value. that works. Just a little attack there to get rid of that transient. Yes. I am really excited for Tonverk to get its next update. I know it's going to squash so many of like my complaints that like still exist with it and the additions that'll come from it. I am a beta tester. I can't talk about any of it, sadly, but I'm excited to get to use the Tonverk post update. I'm going to be playing with it so much more. One of my complaints about it currently is the encoders just feel like they move like after I let go sometimes. They're like still moving. Or it's just like that, like look at that jump. Like I'm just trying to get there and it's just like it flies past it. Like why is it ramping up like that? Like it makes me crazy. Makes me absolutely crazy that it does stuff like that. That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds really nice. Okay, I'm gonna go to track 1. We're gonna turn this into a subtrack. And I'm probably just gonna start a blank one. Blank subtrack. Now the question is, do I want this subtrack to be like multiple versions of one drum and like use tracks 1 through 4 as like my different drums? That's like my go-to, is to be able to like improvise, like write a bunch of patterns as the subtracks. Or I could try and have a bunch of sounds by putting as many sounds into one subtrack and then using the rest for synths and noisy things, stuff like that. I don't know. We'll just start with a kick drum for now, though. That's nice and dubby. I go to track 3 and make this a subtrack. We're gonna put a hat on. I like that. That's nice. That could be a nice little something something. I guess it's still coming in through these effects that are being processed on bus 3. I'm gonna fix that because it's like doing stuff. That's cool. I like that. Let me get that in here. What is it called? Shepherd chime? Love sampling. Such a cool thing. Thank you, Sad. I don't know, where do I want to put it? I guess we could put it on 5. Right? Yeah. Definitely don't want that to happen too often. I don't know why I copied it. I didn't need to do that. What? What is it? What page? Is it on 2? That would sound good. Is it like right here? Whoa, that sounds sick. Sponsor me. Passion fruit. Take a photo. Ka is a wheel. Ka is a wheel. I don't want that to happen too often. We're gonna give it a trick edition. We'll do it the first time. We'll have it go every 16 bars. Because we'll use it again, but let's do it on a different page. And like use it in a different pitch and mess with some stuff. Whoa. Dude, like I'm complaining about the Tonverk encoders, and I will complain about those Tonverk encoders. I don't care what anyone says. They annoy me. But the sounds from the like the effects on the Tonverk, this is, it is so good. That's a sample of the synth with its effects. That's ridiculous. And y'all don't even know this, but this is running through a Digitact into an Octatrack. It's going through a bunch of digital audio converters. It still sounds absolutely insane. Wait, did I do that on the wrong track? Yeah, I did. Of course I did. We want to be on track 5. You're still playing for so long. Let's go like put the filter right here. Yes. I think this first chord, wait, what's going on here? Oh, that's where I put it. Okay, that's why. Wish the size of this thing is just larger than I want it to be. Yes. I feel like the art of this style of music, this like minimal, would love to hear a fast moving bass under this. Oh, maybe. Dirt Shaper sounds good on pretty much everything. Oh yeah. You might be right about that. You've been drinking Waterloo? They all got bubbles. Honestly, to me, it's just the bubbles that I care about. I just want bubbles. I don't even care about the flavor at all. And in fact, my preferred drink is no flavor, like pure. I even named a patch cable after it on with my patch cable company. Can we just take a moment to appreciate this style of music? Not necessarily how good I am at it. Like I don't know if I'm good or not. That's completely up to you. But like this style of music, this like minimal dub techno, minimal techno, just that like the less is more kind of thing where you're listening to the reverbs and the delays and you're listening to the atmospheres and stuff like that. And like the simpler drums, there's something about it that is just, I don't know, it's meditative. It just feels really good. It's fun to program, and also you can listen, like as you're programming at some genres or some styles of music when you're programming, it's really easy to get super annoyed with like what you're doing. You're just like, God damn, I'm just listening to the same progression over and over again. This style of music, like you can have this on loop forever and just like, and it kind of just fades into the background of whatever you're doing. Like it's not obtrusive. Yeah, I guess that's kind of like, yeah, and yeah, that's what I mean to say. This hat's kind of interesting that I got on track 3, this sub-track hat. I'm just moving the start position off of the beginning of the transient. Kind of like just give it a little bit of breathing room. You also can like randomize the velocity on here. Let's see what happens. Maybe it's gonna make it sound better. Nope. Nope. Actually kind of like that. Made room. Get over here. Let's put some like... Either my headphones are on the wrong way, or this is, pardon me for a moment, plugged in the wrong spot. There we go. Fixed. Let's give it a trig condition so it doesn't happen, or lower the probability or something. We need like a million more chord sounds and like airy background stuff. We also need a bass. I haven't decided what I want to do for the bass quite yet. Did I put this on track 5? Do we not have... I did put it on track 5. Damn it. We don't have track swap, do we? No. That's disappointing. Well, I guess I'll put my bass on 6. I wasn't planning on doing that. I liked it, so like, oh no, I won't. I guess I'll put it on 7. I like to stick to a certain format for what goes on each channel. So like, kick always on 1. Bass for me is always on 5. Because I always allocate 4 tracks to my drums and 4 tracks to my synths on anything that has only 4 tracks available. We could get a bass from here. Let's see. We can browse by category. Bass. Well, now what do I do? Is that not a thing? There's an ambient category. Well, how do I go through? That's not a button. Oh, I'm in category bass. Okay. Some weird stuff there. Hey, Ken Flux. Let's see. That's kind of cool. It's making some cool sounds. What is this? Another Kenflux patch. That's a warm. Oh, that sounds really sick. You know what's really great about Tonverk, and any synthesizer, honestly, but what's really great about Tonverk is one-shots play back extremely well on the Tonverk. So I can sample this beautiful bass sound, and instead of doing it MIDI, which introduces all sorts of things like whatever, depends on what synth you're using, but it can be like just more frustrating to use in general because MIDI is, you know, a thing. But it could introduce stuck notes depending on the synth. It can, you know, it's easier to play, like find a good sound and kind of like commit to it when you sample. Something I really like about sampling is the commit to the sound thing. Like we tweaked Ken's patch a bit. Now it's my patch. It sounds a little bit different, but mostly sounds like Ken's patch, and I like it. And the Tonverk does such a good job of hair bass. It's a good name for a patch. Of repitching that it's going to sound just like this, and then I can mess with it. Thank you, Sai. Yeah, that works. Hair bass, Sai. We don't need to assign it to anything, I guess. Press no to skip. Okay. All right, let's put it in here. We're just using a one shot. Let's make it not polyphonic. Just do mono. Did I see? Poly mono LFO. Okay. Well, no, LFOs are mono and mono anyway. I just love that. It's like, it plays back so good. I mean, obviously it's playing that super fast, but... Sounds exactly like... literally like a clone of this patch. Let's go ahead and listen to what happens if we add some effects. Like maybe... Nah, that one's too nasty. Dirt Shaper. This. Okay. Was it on the 9 that I... We haven't done anything on 4, but I was gonna do... Maybe what we do is another subtrack. There we go. Something like this. And then kind of mess with this. It'll change all of theirs. It's kind of sucky. This is the right idea. Let's grab these, paste those. Let's grab these, paste those. And then grab these 4, and paste those. And then these ones, and paste those. And then we'll just do this. And then continue to mess with it. Have their own filter, which is nice. So we could do like a hold mode, like a random. Speed that up. Kind of get like a random pattern, you know what I mean? The pattern itself isn't random, but it sounds random because of the peak filters. You are still in single layers of multi-layer patches. Right. I was playing with the multi-layer patches when we first logged on. I guess we could look for another sound. It doesn't fit our dubby sound. god, I didn't know I could do that. Oh my god. That's so sick. Oh, I can't believe how long I've been kind of like sleeping on the Polytouch. Like this patch, like while I'm not a fan of this type of sound personally, I think it's a cool patch. This would sound really good repitched, like sampled and repitched, because of the like the little twinkly stereo stuff. Would sound super good slow, like maybe even running through Grainer. Oh, this is good. This is good. Those sound like all those bubbles. Yeah, I'm gonna grab that. Sick. That's a good patch. Who did this one? Who's the maker? Is that you again, Ken? Rising. Force. Sai. Thank you, Sai. We'll put it on track 6. Just lock this sucker in. Like we do with our good old Elektron stuff. Just throw it right here. Oh, we go. We could throw it on 6. We could throw it on 9. We could throw it on 12. What was it called? Rising Force? Yes. Maybe too much solid. I doesn't do me any favors. Copy. That's not what I meant for that. That's cool. Let's go more reverb and less delay on that particular one. More high pass. Maybe even... Yeah, the subtractive style patches are my favorite. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they're all dope, but like, those are the ones that like get me all stoked. I don't know if I like that spot. Maybe we do it like around here. Oh, I think that would sound good if it was like almost like call and response. Like let's loop page. What page are we on now? 3? 3? Is that not the one I wanted to be on? Oh, it's on page 2? Okay, so we do want to be on 3. Let's do it. Play it in reverse. Come here. Why? Oh, whoops. My bad. Get out of here. Yeah. Definitely not. Wait, where's the one that I was just using? Rising Force? We're gonna shorten this envelope. Come here. We're gonna go like this. Actually, one of my favorite methods for like doing this style of like, we're gonna do like a, we're not gonna retrig it because the retrig isn't gonna reset these envelopes. That's something cool about the M8 is that when you do the retrig, it retrigs everything in the effects command. Not the same here. But we're gonna copy and paste each note onto itself. So we're gonna copy this one, go to the next one, then copy that one, go to the next one. That way we have the values from the last one carried on to the next trigger. It's just faster programming. So like we can barely hear this, but as it goes through the sequence, it's gonna open up that filter cutoff and these stepped values. Something you could do live record too, but I like being like really surgical with stuff. So I'll paste this and then go to the next one. The next one. I have a little bit too much delay on them. Could have that one do that though. We should give this track its own daisy delay. So we can just loop this page, jump straight to... What page are we on? Page 8, right? Yeah. How cool is that, right? I love that kind of sound. No undoes all the looping. That's sick. We just like throw that in the background. We need a better way of like letting you know what page you're on. I thought maybe that would hold it, but... I'm like I'm in a good spot where I'm like, I really like this. This would actually be a lot of fun if I knew what scale I was in. I thought I was in C Dorian. I wonder if I am. Let's turn it on. Oh, now I can't screw up. Oh, now we're talking. Cool, man. That's very cool. Very cool. There's so many knobs to play with on this synthesizer that you're kind of like, you can actually get lost, like similarly to the way I just did. But pairing with the Tonverk, man, this is a super combo. Mind you, I am sending clock from my Tonverk, so like, this stuff sounds so good because it's tempo synced everything. Tempo synced effects. Probably really loud. Wow, I could just play with this patch. This is just a classic analog sounding patch. This is what I was saying before. It was bread and butter. B&B, as they call it in fighter games. What's your B&B? Anybody play fighter games? Fighting games? I'm terrible at them. So I know Ken Flux is here from ASM, but let's ask what y'all think of this synthesizer. Pretty cool. Pretty cool synth. You're a gamer, Flux? I didn't know that. What up, Ken? Let's get down. Just school me. Everybody schools me. I want to be good. I'm not, though. I don't got those reflexes. I just don't got them. This is what happens to me. Just die a lot. Another great reason to have a stereo visual, you would have realized those cables were backward a long time ago. Yeah. That's true. I like how your name is Signal Flow, and that's the topic you're discussing. Are you some sort of ghost or something? Some sort of spirit? Tokon looks great. I have Tokon. I'm so bad at it. I cannot win a single ranked game. I cannot win. I do not know how the lowest ranks of players are able to do endless combos. I don't understand. How am I ever supposed to pick up this game if I cannot beat the lowest ranked player and they are just somehow so good? It's called getting old. Well, getting old sucks, then. Street Fighter 2. What's up, Moonbase Alpha? My dude. You have an autistic son, so you get a lot of practice with fighters, an absurd amount. That's fun. That's fun. I have 2 autistic nephews. They both love to play games with me. Fortunately, or unfortunately, I still can't win. Tokon is a button masher? Yeah. You're not. What up? Good to see the folks in here. Very cool to have Ken pop in here. I didn't tell anybody I was doing this today. I just did it. Nice to have ASM show up. Teaching people stuff. How useful for everybody, for people watching. I don't know how many people are watching, but quite a few. Oh, shit. I forgot again to press streaming for Twitch. I keep trying to stream to Twitch. It's too late now. When Tonverk update? Your guess is as good as mine, homie. I thought it would be out by now. I really don't know. It's coming. It's coming. They're going to update Tonverk so many times. I wouldn't be surprised if we got multiple updates this year. I mean, no one told me accountable to that one, but I wouldn't be surprised considering like they probably want to get another update out before Christmas or something. Because that'd be cool. I do like it a lot. That encoder thing where like the encoders are, I have a hard time with the encoders. I did bring it up to them. Hopefully they do something about that. It really annoys me. That's the kind of stuff that like I do get frustrated. You guys want some? I can't. Too many cables to unplug. I put batteries in both my Digitact and my Digitone. We're talking like this. So here's my Octatrack, right? My Octatrack is a battery-powered Octatrack. Right? Battery-powered Octatrack. I have battery-powered Octatrack, Digitact, and Digitone. Digitone 2 and Digitact 2. 6 hours of battery life inside my devices. I can go sit on the couch, no cable to the wall, and program. That's what happens when you're an Uber nerd and your friends are Uber nerds. It's pretty dope. Tell Jordo to sell us internal batteries. Jordo is... I told him not to make any more. They're too... Like, it takes too much of his time. It's like a soul-sucking process. He builds the batteries from scratch, 3D prints the housing. Even this. Look at this. Watch this stuff that... I mean, the guy's crazy. He's not here right now. That's too bad. He should be in here. Watch this. I plug this sucker in. It even has a logo. Like, it has the Modbang logo. You can't see it very well, but that's how much voltage is in my Octatrack right now. The battery in the Octatrack lasts forever. It's insane. Not as long as like an OPXY or anything. Those things last forever. That's a ridiculous battery. I don't even know how they did that. I don't even know how they did that. The battery in the OPXY is like till the end of time. Too bad. Too bad they do such weird things. I need to stop saying that because I really want them to send me an OP1 field. I miss the OP1 field. That's the synth that I miss the most. The most. That I got rid of. I really want that one back. I want it more than I want my OPXY. Cue the lady in Napoleon Dynamite looking at the ship in the bottle. Yeah. That is a good movie. Dude, when's the last time you saw a movie like Napoleon Dynamite? That where you busted up laughing like that? When's the last time you sat down and just busted up laughing at a movie? That was just like humor that you've never experienced before. Really. I mean, I feel like Napoleon Dynamite like set a precedence. It's been a long time since I have cracked up like that at a movie. I mean, I have in like I love going to comedy shows. But man, it's been a while since I laughed like that at a movie. Long time. Jackass 3? What? No way. You know, there's TV shows. There's TV shows that have made me laugh like that. Just not a movie. I Think You Should Leave is like one of my favorite TV shows ever. That is humor like Napoleon Dynamite where you're just like, what is even happening? Like I quote that show like it's the only language I know. I watch that show. It's good. MacGruber, That's actually no. MacGruber is a movie that came out, I think, after it came out after Napoleon Dynamite. That is equally as funny as Napoleon Dynamite. MacGruber is like one of my favorite movies of all time, and they made a show, and it is also just as funny. But I think you should leave. It's just like, oh my god, on another level. Is the new Naked Gun is great? I watched like half it. I think I got tired. Come on, I'm not giving you smack, Timberdoodle. I mean, I'm sure it's funny. I'm sure it's funny. It just harkens back to a time period, to a time of my life when I was such a degenerate. Like when the Jackass series was popular, I myself was such a degenerate of a human being that when I think about stuff that reminds me of that time period, I have less interest in those things. Honestly. Hour 55. We're coming up right at the end here. Okay, so here's my review of... Whoa, I hit the lever on my chair. That's kind of funny, actually. That's comedy gold. Okay. EZBOT review of Leviasynth. Even with Ken Flux, one of the developers, in the room, I'm going to be totally honest. This is my honest review. My dog agrees. Come here. Hey, come here. My dog's like, be honest. Sounds awesome. For an FM synth that does all sorts of stuff, this is a badass sounding device. How playable is it? I'd say it's very playable. In fact, for a digital synthesizer, this is probably, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I would say is a 10 out of 10 synth for like playable. I'm looking over at like my wall of synths. And I'm like looking at my Prophet 5, like thinking that's got to be the most playable. But it's like the most basic synth ever, so it's so easy. So I don't know. This is definitely like, I'm not going to give it a number, but extremely playable synthesizer. Sounds really good. I really like the analog filter. The 24 dB analog filter sounds fantastic. I love that the digital filter has a morph knob to morph between high pass and low pass right on the front panel. I think it's really easy to jam with. The idea that I have poly... That was a great chord for us to play with. The idea that I have poly aftertouch built into the pads right on the front of the unit with scale modes, chord modes, an editable arpeggiator, and a sequencer is pretty sick for a synth. Mind you, this desktop unit is under $2,000, and I know we're like, money's probably tight for just about everybody on the planet right now because we are living through an absolute nightmare of an existence. Don't get me started on that because I will lose my shit. But as far as synthesizers go, the cool synths that are coming out are all 3K plus. Like everything that I've been interested in, hey, close that window. Everything I've been interested in has been like 3K plus for synthesizers. This one is not 3K. It's under 2K for the desktop unit. So price point is actually pretty good, I'd say. Pretty good price point. Super duper deep. It is definitely on the tougher side, I'd say, to like really leverage its full capabilities. This is not like a sit down, learn it in a day synth. This is a dedicate some time to it, read the manual, watch tutorials type of synthesizer. Like for instance, you pick up a Prophet 5, a Grandmother, even some of the like a Juno or something like that. You can learn that synth like to its fullest capability in a day, even maybe in a couple hours. Pretty simple, like really not tough at all. If you're already familiar with synthesis, like a lot of synthesizers, you can pick up and just learn them pretty quick. And it's like, yeah, you can make a million different sounds, but learning the technology itself is pretty straightforward. This is one where you're not going to learn the whole thing in your first sit. You're going to sit down several times and learn it. That's good or bad, depending on who you are and what kind of person you are and what kind of producer you are. For me, it's not a bad thing because I worked at a synthesizer store and I learned a bajillion synths. So pretty quick for me to pick up a synth. I'm not, that's rare that people work at synth shops and have experience playing with a million synths. So I'm a unique person in that regard, or a unique scenario is what I mean to say. We're all unique people, but I'm unique in that scenario that I've had those experiences. Okay, so yes, I put it in like the middle tier of harder to learn. and difficult to master, and that's a good thing. That's like a plus for it. Sound quality is very good. Filters sound good. Fun to play. Great interaction with it. Pretty solid. I haven't had really any issues. Like, I've been beta testing it, so like, of course, I've run through problems during betas. But as far as the state that it's in now, I have the newest firmware on it, and it's running pretty good. We used the panic button once. I'm not going to blame Leviasynth for that. I'm going to blame Tonverk. Just because I'm assuming that right now, and don't get me, I love Elektron, you know, I'm Elektron fanboy, essentially. Overall, I'd say this is a pretty dope synth. Price point, sound quality, playability, you know, it's a keeper type synth. This is easily, and I don't want to tell people to go out there and sell their Hydrasynths and replace it with this, because they're different synthesis. Hydra's wavetables, right? I've never owned a Hydra, but I played on it plenty, but I don't remember. But I think it's wavetables. That's a different, easier platform. Wavetables are really simple to get really crazy sounds on. It's not the same here. Here you're really gonna have like experiment. You're gonna learn the mod matrix. You're gonna have to learn the algorithm thing and like leverage that, you know. And like, it's not too tough. I'm not saying like this is too hard. I just mean it's not super duper simple is what I'm getting at. Hydra's a lot easier in my experience. I do think the sound design here and capabilities of this thing is probably deeper than the Hydrasynth. And that's just my opinion from the sounds I've heard from Hydra versus the sounds that I've had here. And yeah, so not that people should sell their Hydrasynths and go out and buy a Leviasynth, but if you were thinking about doing that, I don't think you would be upset with yourself for doing that. I think you'd be like, maybe it was an upgrade. Maybe. Cool. So yeah, that's gonna be it today. This is what we made. We made this like minimalist dubby thing with this cool jammy. I was like, didn't I put this into a scale mode? With this cool jammy art patch on here that just sounds like a nice analog synth patch. Sampled this a bunch. Made a patch from scratch. Made some music from scratch. I'm pretty pleased with my day. This is the kind of stuff that I want to get done. I want to sit down, learn a little bit about an instrument, make some music, hang out with some people in chat. So this is a win for me. Similar workflow, but the synthesis is very different. Yeah. That bias. Yeah. 17 other digital filter models that you didn't get to? Yeah, like there's just... it's in the thumbnail. Insanely deep. I'm referring to this. Insanely deep. 17 filter models? That's crazy. It's honestly a synth, like you only need... this is my opinion on what you should have in your studio. If you can afford it, that is. If you can afford this, as you're collecting synthesizers, as you're collecting synths, consider getting yourself a polyphonic synthesizer. Truly polyphonic synthesizer. Not like a micro freak, but more like a mini freak. More like a Leviasynth. Get yourself a nice polyphonic synthesizer. Either get yourself an analog poly or get yourself a digital oscillator with analog filter poly, which is what this is. I think a digital oscillator with analog filter poly is the sweet spot. I think that's even more useful than a fully analog poly because it has much more sound design potential. So this is a great synth for that. I think everybody should have a nice poly synth. People should have a nice analog mono synth, like a grandmother or, I don't know, similar to that kind of synthesizer, one where you're just getting those like grisly analog sounds and those nice warm sounds. And then everyone should have a sampler. And I think if you have those three things in your studio, you're good to go. You're golden. Like that's all you need to make unlimited music. You can synthesize drums on those machines, or you can get sound packs of drums for your sampler and you can sample your synths and capture them in different states and put them in your music. And I think that's all you need to have a good time. That's why I always am using a sampler and a synthesizer in every setup that I play. That's always my setup, because it's just B&B, yo. It's bread and butter. So great sounding synthesizer. Thanks for hanging out, Ken, for being in the chat. I'm glad that you showed up. And that's really useful, I think, for a lot of people. And again, I didn't alert ASM, so I'm glad you saw the stream show up. My name is Matthew, aka EZBOT. If you'd like to support this channel, you can visit patreon.com/EZBOT and join the Patreon. It's free, and I do, just alert you when I come out with a new pack or going live to do a stream or stuff like that. If you want to go a little further and get access to all of my work, which is a massive amount of work that I have on there, tons of sample packs, tons of Octatrack performance templates, tons of presets, stuff like that, discounts at like Modbang, lots of rewards. Patreon.com/EZBOT. Sign up for any of the paid tiers. You get access to everything. Private lessons with me if you want to learn Elektron gear, M8, modular synths, Bitwig, patreon.com/EZBOT or EZBOT.live to book some time with me, and I will teach you everything I know about these boxes. I know a ton about Elektron. I could really get you up and running like that, I promise. I really enjoy teaching. I did recently come out with a new pack yesterday. I swear by it. I'm going to do a whole video on it though, but it's called the Ultimate Sampler Synthesis Pack. It has wavetables, 1,000 wavetables in it for Tonverk or any synth that runs L Multi, but 1,000 wavetables. They're all unique. This took a long time to craft this pack. All unique wavetables. It has 1,500 single cycles, all unique sounds. It has single cycle tuned grids, which is my favorite thing that I made of the whole pack. 450 single cycle tuned grids. Basically, any sampler that can do grids like slicing, that can do quantized grid, you set it to 64, set it to loop, and every single one of those slices is a different single cycle waveform. And you can scan through them like a wavetable. It is insane. It sounds so good on the Digitact. I highly recommend you do this. Make it yourself. You can use Python scripts or even JavaScript, even Lua and stuff like that to make these kinds of grids. It's not something that's easily done in your DAW. You're going to have to script it somehow. There's also web-based tools to do this. Like, it's free. It's free to do these things, but I put together a massive grouping of these things and that I made with my scripts, and they sound fantastic. And then there's also 1,000 noise bursts of all different flavors. So check that out at patreon.com/EZBOT. It's one of the rewards there. You can also buy the pack from Patreon. You can also buy it from coffee.com. And it's dope. I'm proud of it. That's gonna be it for me. Thank you everybody for hanging out. I will see you next week. I may be dropping a video this Saturday. We'll see, on digitone modulation. I did it a while back. I haven't released it, so look forward to that. If it does come out, I might wait. We'll find out. Thank you everybody, and I'll see you next time.